Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Tiorio. Tonight, I am joined, as always, by Mr. Fuse in a beanie himself, Gerard Barrera.
It's me, Mr. Fuse. I kind of brought in like two different franchises there. I thought that was kind of funny. What's up, guys? Hello, my fellow nerds. Thank you for joining. Along with us, we got our babyface Theo Walski and the amazing Lion's Mane.
I'm liking the groomed
Thank you,
mustache.
Jason Belivio. What's up, boys?
What's up,
How's it
fellas?
going?
How's it going, guys? How's it going? Oh my god, I can't lift this arm at all.
The Costco life getting real.
No, man. No.
I was going to say, why can't you do it?
Wait to shamelessly plug your vaccine right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
nice, dude. Congrats. How you feeling?
Right now, just sore, but I'm starting to get a little sleepy, a little tired, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll push through.
I mean, it's all right. We don't have to worry
Oh,
about
okay.
you falling asleep mid-sentence like somebody else on this podcast.
Have I done? I haven't done that.
Yes,
I
you
haven't.
have.
Have I fallen asleep?
Mid-sentence. Yes, you have.
I do not.
While you were talking.
I don't remember that.
That's the point.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
remember that at all. That's pretty funny. I might want to go back to that. That's actually pretty funny. I did not know I did that.
Yeah. it was
Were
crazy.
we watching something, or I was just like,
No, we were
You've
in.
just been tired.
It was in Virginia, and you were in the back of the car. And we were. It
oh,
was.
I thought you meant on the
It was
podcast.
me, Brittany.
Oh, yeah.
No, not on the podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that would be
Oh, yeah.
amazing if it was on the
not a bit,
podcast.
not a bit.
Pull that clip up in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
You would
that's
never-
normal. On a
you would
road,
never
like
let
if I'm
that
in the
down.
passenger seat.
Like here,
5
your
minutes
attitude
in.
completely
Hold on,
changed.
hold
It's
on.
like, wait,
Let's talk about
if you have
this.
video evidence, it matters.
We
If
were-
you don't know. No,
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
it's
we were
fine.
on the way. We were on the way to go see Andy Grammer in Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah.
He fell asleep literal mid-sentence.
Mhm. So it was
He
multiple times.
reminds me, you know what? He reminds me of Mr. Bean. More specific,
Yeah.
Hold on. More specifically, Rowan Atkinson's character in Rat Race.
Oh, I never saw.
Who just so
Oh, it's
his
been a while since I
character-
saw that one.
His
And it
character's
was-
a narcoleptic.
Oh,
So he just sits there and he'll
There you
be
go.
running, and then all of a sudden,
No.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and-
no joke. Like, yeah, unless I'm driving, where like I'm like active. The moment I hit the passenger seat, or if I'm in the back seat,
Yeah.
5 minutes in,
Yeah.
any time to take a nap, I take advantage.
Yep. That's why all the time, man, every
So-
time me and Jay hung out, he'd always be driving. He's like,
Yeah.
I gotta
if Jerry's my co-pilot in next week, I am prepared to all of a sudden just be looking over at him, just sitting here.
See, at least I know. I'm sure you'll have a loud enough playlist in order to drown out
It'll
the snore.
it'll happen. Like definitely
Oh, I
on the road,
can't.
it'll happen every once in a while. But I am a good roadie because I've done that before with my buddy from Ohio to Long Beach, and
Oh,
we
wow.
got some good. We did some good miles, but
Well,
there were some moments
Some
where
breaks.
and he did just go through a breakup, and there were moments when like he's like wanted to talk or get something off his chest, and he looks
Oh no.
like straight up I'm asleep. So he's driving alone with his thoughts. I felt so bad, but
Josh, if you're
I'm-
listening
I'm-
to this, you
yeah.
have our humble apologies. So yeah, let's just get into it because there is a lot, and I mean a lot for us to cover. So I do want to start off with on the Marvel side of the equation, in that there is a fan petition going around right now that some fans are wanting Disney to recast T'Challa to honor Chadwick Boseman, because they think that the best way for a legend not to die is to continue on. So in their opinion, they should have somebody else play T'Challa. I think that is a bad move.
Kind of being in the I don't know, I'm kind of biased about it. I feel like Boseman was such a great actor, but even more like an amazing role model in person from what everybody have said, and what we've seen in the interviews and everything. He was an amazing person. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I was actually really okay with them like having.
So was I. Just let it go and move on to his sister kind of taking.
Yeah. Shuri kind of taking the mantle, and she does in the comics. Shuri takes it for a while. Mm-hmm. But I kind of understand. Like that's a big role, dude, and they need T'Challa to be in the universe still.
Yeah,
and it's kind of tough. But, like how do you?
I don't really feel like that's honoring Chadwick as much.
That's the thing. How do you Marvel recast it and continue honoring the legend? Like,
let me ask you this.
That's going to be tough. They're in a tough position.
Let me ask you this question then on the same lines. Can you honestly answer this? Can you recast Marty McFly?
No.
I mean, now, I think, yeah.
If you did a whole reboot,
yes.
Maybe. But if you're still continuing the story,
no,
I don't think you can recast Marty McFly.
Could you recast Maverick?
Once again, if it's a reboot.
Yeah. You're going too far.
You have to start fresh.
But that's the thing is, though, you are not rebooting Black Panther.
But that's the thing. You're also saying franchises with the main stars are still with us.
Yeah, but I mean, not that. I think that Matt's thinking it's like something like a Wolverine kind of situation, because you have, like, obviously, you could have somebody come in to restart Wolverine.
Which, by the way, they are down to a handful of people for the recasting.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
and Hugh Jackman's only going to reprise his role one more time. I heard.
You'll always have
supposed to be Deadpool.
Different, like, it's always going to be compared to Hugh Jackman. Always. And I feel that's what they kind of have to do with Black Panther. I know it's going to be like the lower vote or the unpopular decision. But
how often do we hate when there's a recast mid? Like, just talk about like Don Cheadle with Iron Man. Like, granted, Don Cheadle's great, but there was a huge upset with, like, why are we changing actors mid movies?
And finally, when the news came out about Terrence Howard, asking for more money, like, okay, he made complications, but once again, this was a very premature recasting. Like, we lost Boseman, so they have to think of thinking of every aspect.
Okay, here we go. You want to go right on with a franchise that is active and lost a star. Can you recast Chekhov? In the new Star Trek series.
Yeah.
Can you really, after he was alive for 3 films and died shortly right there after the third film?
They got to do what they got to do. That character is still predominant, and he's an original character from Star Trek. I mean, maybe that's why they're taking that long to figure out the direction that they want to go. But if they want to keep the character alive, they got to recast it. And it sucks. But Anton, the actor, was amazing, and we have 3 films to watch his great work on. But if they want to keep that character alive and bring him back, they got to recast him. And I think they could, but that's the thing. Is it ever going to be the caliber of like Anton? No, because we're always going to have that visual of him.
I mean, it's never going to be Chadwick Boseman.
Exactly. You will never have Chadwick Boseman again. Rest in peace, rest in soul. But he's such a big part of the universe that it's, unless you CG him forever from this point forward, you're never going to have him there. And they need to recast it.
So we've got a couple comments in chat going right now, which there is Daryl Gaming 15, thanks for crashing in with us. And this is, no matter how much we hate recasting, Disney will still do it. And Jason, you're right, Disney will follow the money for sure.
Yeah, and that was our point too. Is that it's more money. It's for Disney. It's for Marvel. It's not necessary. I don't think it's necessarily honoring Chadwick in any way. I don't think the reasoning behind the petition should be that. It should just be like, hey, we love the character, sure, bring on the character, recast, but don't try to force it as you're trying to do it for Chadwick.
But at the same time, what is wrong with his sister taking up the mantle?
True, but once again, like, we don't know the moves that Marvel and Disney are trying to make. Maybe that was something that they were thinking about down the line.
Disney and Kevin Feige were all saying flat out they were never going to recast Chadwick Boseman. It's these fans that are not liking the fact that his sister may take up the mantle. So
I don't even know if it's a sister, but it's just you have this big hole now.
Yeah.
Either you go around, you create something to put inside of it, or you just ignore it altogether.
And isn't there rumor that Michael B. Jordan is supposed to reprise his role in Black Panther 2?
Correct.
For something? And somehow that's
Michael B. Jordan. He said he would absolutely come back to help out with Black Panther 2 if he was asked.
Right.
Because that's how much Chadwick meant to him.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a good call.
So they're in a tough position, and like things like this, it sucks, but you know, Disney is known to take account for you know, what the fans are looking for,
but it's only a small piece of the fans that are screaming for this. The rest of fandom, when I saw the article, a lot of people were tweeting out against it, saying, "Dude, no, let it be. Let Chadwick, he is T'Challa. He is."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm honestly all for Shuri taking up the mantle. Like, I think she would be great. You know, you got to roll with the punches, and like, I think I do agree with you, man. I feel like it's a way bigger gamble to recast. You know, because like Chadwick,
because of who Chadwick was,
so iconic and who he is. Yeah, but you know, Black Panther and T'Challa were a big wheelhouse in all of the phases. Exactly. And maybe they had and Wakanda too. Like, they had a lot of ideas, I think, going into the next phases with Wakanda and T'Challa in mind.
Yeah.
Well, we know, I mean, they've already kind of introduced Namor, you know, by the undersea earthquakes and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see where they go.
All I can say is,
yeah.
No, but I want to put out like on what Newman's saying in the chat as well, man. Like, they might just have him forever suited up, you know, never takes it off. That way he's always there, but it's not him.
Does he never speak either?
That's true. Because
it was there's so many voice things that
that was not Chadwick's natural voice. He put in an accent for the role and everything, but I would think it'd still be extremely difficult to match.
So
that's a tough position.
Let's talk about another tough position, and that's the position that John Walker put himself in.
Oh, geez.
At the end of the last episode.
I was actually surprised by that. I knew it was coming, but I was still surprised by it.
Like you called it. I was really surprised, man.
I didn't think it was going to be
episode 4.
I thought it was going to be like episode 5, like beginning episode 5. But the fact is, I didn't expect him to do that, where he went off and straight murdered somebody with the shield right there.
Right.
So I cannot wait for...
But we can't necessarily say Captain America, even Steve Rogers, has never killed anybody.
But that's the thing, though.
So he's done it in self-defense.
Right.
That's the difference. That is what made Cap.
He's never done it out of rage. No, he's never blatantly murdered someone out of rage, and like,
especially in a public place.
Yeah,
he's had the chance when he's like brutalized somebody, in a fight to kill them, and he's stopped. He's not done it. So
and this is what I love about a lot of the people like theorizing on YouTube, but like the best comparisons to Steve Rogers and the new Cap was Civil War. Was Cap did the same thing, but he stopped himself, and he found the way to stop the fight, which was hitting the arc reactor on Tony Stark. But the new Cap straight up decapitated. And talk about a climax, dude.
But
That
I
was an
love
epic
the
ending.
fact that they built it up first with the whole conversation between John and his buddy is like, would you take it? Like, and his friend goes just like, sure. It's like, it just makes you more of who you are.
That was the brilliance of
Is
that
the
episode,
real thing, which was so amazing.
All of that, all of those conversations were inherently like, that's why Cap was Cap.
Right. And I like that it was a reminder from Captain America First Avenger movie, because they had that exact conversation.
It was
in the movie.
That was a really like, that probably had to be one of my favorite episodes of Falcon.
And I think
like, he was
one
good.
of the things I'm looking forward to is like Sam's finally realizing. I know, right?
Jason, are you frozen or is
no,
it
not frozen? It's like I have no idea what. I have zero.
So real quick, speaking of remakes, though, is like Darrow Gaming does bring up a point. Is like almost how people want the real life Powerpuff Girls starring, Dove Cameron, who, that cast just got announced this week. Is that Dove Cameron's going to be leading that cast for a CW live action Powerpuff Girls? Which
CW.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about.
I don't know how I feel.
CW
about it.
has a tough.
I just hope for Powerpuff Girl fandom, they do it justice and they do it right, because that's a fandom that can easily turn real quick and make that a one season show.
It's live and live action.
I
mean, like I'm already
live
thinking
action,
like they're gonna.
It's like on the later half of teenage years and stuff like that. I heard that it's supposed to be like.
I honestly think this is going to be like a Charlie's Angel, like a bad Charlie's Angels thing. Like I hope it does well, but what direction can they like they're supposed to have superpowers and all that stuff too? Like,
yeah, I mean, they're Powerpuff Girls.
We'll
they gotta have superpowers.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see the live iteration of that, because
it's just so hard to get rid of the big heads, the big eyes.
Yeah.
It's so
we'll see what happens there. But
so
the one thing that did come out of this is that people are already theorizing what the new title is going to be for the next season for Falcon. They're already saying it's not going to be Falcon Winter Soldier. A lot of people are saying it's going to be Captain America and
White Wolf.
And it'll keep going with a season 2 and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The new episode is, tonight. For those that are listening to us at home, it's going to be, it would have dropped already, Friday morning. So let's move on to the gaming news, because there is a ton from this week. So the first off was Ubi did announce, which we all know that they are part of E3 this year. So they are going to have an Ubisoft Forward June 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So this would slot into how they normally did, which was would have been day one ish.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to fall right in line with where they normally did. So it'll be interesting. A lot of people are hoping we get Sam Fisher, because they've been hinting at a potential Splinter Cell remake for quite a while now.
True.
So they're hoping that this is it. So also this week on the PlayStation front, a lot of things have come out now. Jason Schreier dropped a bomb of an article this week on Bloomberg. And if those that want to take a read of the full article, I highly recommend going and reading it. It is a good read. But some of the things I do want to point out is that he's reporting Sony is going to be focusing more on those AAA titles, which in all fairness, their AAA are most of the time bangers.
True.
Uncharted, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima. You've got MLB The Show. You've got Gran Turismo. Uncharted, Last of Us, the list keeps going on. God of War. God of War. I mean, it's so with that, Days Gone, right, which wasn't critically acclaimed at launch, and in all fairness, it barely passed the polishing guidelines and launched, and it was kind of broken. Not cyberpunk broken, but it was broken. And Ben did clean it up quite a bit. Sony rejected Days Gone 2. Ben pitched them Days Gone 2, and this was right before John Gavin and Jeffrey Ross left Bend. So it is now coming out more. We never knew why they left. A lot of people are inferring the fact is that Days Gone 2 got rejected, and then Ben was reassigned to help Naughty Dog with a multiplayer IP and a new Uncharted. So with that, I think that you can pretty much see the writing that's on the wall is that, you know, John Gavin and Jeffrey Ross did not want to be basically absorbed in a Naughty Dog. They didn't want to be Naughty Dog Junior, so to speak. Now, thankfully, Ben leadership was able to basically say, no, we don't want to be on these projects anymore. And Ben is working on a brand new IP. So let's see what they come up with. You know, in the past, they've done great games. They did Siphon Filter. You know, they were responsible for Siphon Filter series. They did Golden Abyss, which the story itself was really great. Gameplay mechanics weren't completely solid on the Vita, but they had some great ideas for it. Now
they really had to try to force the additions of the Vita with everything. I can understand that.
I mean, I like the idea holding the Vita up to the light and kind of scratching through and stuff.
Yeah, but there was certainly some creative things, but they were just kind of like
they kind of fell flat. But
their hands were forced with the Vita. I feel.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, you know, Sony no longer wants to make smaller games that are only popular in Japan. You know, most of Japan studios, I mean, most of those people are gone now. They closed up Japan studio. A lot of those people went on to be Team Asobi. The others went on to make their own studio. So they can continue making some of those RPGs and stuff that we're accustomed to from them. You know, Last of Us, reason I'm saying, you know, there was kind of two in there, is that Last of Us is getting remade.
Yep.
It is getting a remake. And from the sounds of it looks like they're trying to time it for when the series launches on HBO. Which, when you think about it, that from a business money follow, you know, like we were talking about with Disney earlier, right? You follow the money. You know, you're going to have all these new people tuning in to watch Last of Us on HBO that may have never done anything on PlayStation. So you get them, you make it a PS5 game, you try and sell some hardware, which hopefully we have some hardware next year, you know, and the superconductor, you know, the superconductor, you know, shortage is fixed by then. But you've got, you know, you have a remake being done, which nobody's asked for because the game's like not even 10 years old. You know, we just, Jason, we were talking about earlier, right? It's like, wait, didn't they just do that? Yeah, they did a remaster for the PS4.
Which is
I was actually kind of surprised at this announcement, and I think you're right. It's going to be timing for the show.
Has to be.
I'm also kind of afraid of because it's a reboot, right? It's going to be new.
They're going to remake it. They're going to kind of follow the same storyline per se.
So it's not a reboot; it's a remake.
It's a remake. But we all know with Final Fantasy, hold on, we all know with Final Fantasy VII Remake, they added in their own stuff.
That's true. They can still add,
And we know
because what we say when we're talking about reboots, if it was a reboot, it'd be a whole different story, right?
Right.
Remake, they're stating the same story.
They're gonna, which the series itself has already said it's going to adapt the first game, but have its own liberties by going in different paths later on. So I can see all of that being adapted into a remake.
I would find it strange for the remake and the series to be released in parallel.
Why?
Because I would find that you'd end up with confusion amongst fans and people watching the show and playing at the same time. Because you're gonna have, if anything, to keep people's attention, you're gonna have to have different stories in both the series and the game. Okay, otherwise you're just picking one way to watch the story versus another.
I get that.
Okay, so
if you're having the different stories, you're going to be really confused. Yeah, if it was in series, then that would make sense. But in parallel, it doesn't quite make sense to me.
Either way, I mean, they're trying to coincide it with the series.
I'm afraid of the remake because it's rare. Like I think you'll agree with me is that it's rare when certain games come out where it's so great, but it's also like well cast. The cast, like all of the cast of the original Last of Us, like that was like a diamond in the rough. Everyone gave top tier performances.
Oh yeah.
And when you're gonna try and remake that, that's gonna be tough to like kind of top.
And you got it. If you remake it, you have to bring back the original cast. So you
and
have
that's
to
the
bring back
thing.
Troy
Are they
Baker,
gonna
you
do
have to bring
that?
back Ashley Johnson. You have to.
A lot of the remaking, I don't understand this at all.
Because honestly, I can see them getting Pedro Pascal going like doing the voiceover work, and that would kind of like, as much as I love him, like Troy Baker killed that role.
He killed it.
He was
would you
amazing.
recast him? Would you recast it and do an additional, like an add-on DLC then for Pedro's voice and voicing Joel's
I don't think they would do that if they're going to do the remake. I think they would go full bore, like kind of with the show. That's why I'm kind of afraid. Like
this. I have no faith in this remake at all.
Will I play it? Yes.
With speaking with the
I'm going to try it.
Since we were talking about it being in line with the series, do you think they'd end up casting the game with the same actors from the series?
I honestly think they would. I think they would go that route.
I think they would. I think that would be a bad idea because
me too. I'm just thinking they would do it because
there. What are you going to do? Do a DLC where Pedro Pascal voices all of Joel's lines?
And why would they waste that time on like for people to have that choice? Like I think they would go full bore and like have the cast that was cast for the show do the recordings. Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of afraid of too. Like
no faith in this at all, because it's why are you gonna make, you have Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2, now you have Last of Us remake that's going to be the
honestly, I want to tag on what Dario Gaming's saying. It's like they need to do either a new Twisted Metal or Metal Gear Solid. People have been actually asking for remakes of Twisted Metal.
Give us a remake
and Metal Gear Solid.
I'm more on board for Metal Gear.
I would rather see a remake of Legend of Dragoon.
Give a remake that is actually asked for.
Please.
Correct.
Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear.
No,
it's not gonna happen.
I would rather Twisted Metal, to be honest, over.
Twisted Metal would be fun too, but I'm a hardcore Metal Gear fan. I would love a new like a remake.
Metal Gear's not gonna happen, sir.
Probably
remakes, right? Is that they also want to bring adaptations of popular games to mobile.
Okay.
It's already started. It's already started.
I kind of feel like that kind of hurts certain franchises when they try and go mobile.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. Really? This guy is already on the mobile now. It just brought out.
Well, we're talking about immersive experiences like Horizon, Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War.
I could never play those games mobile.
All of them can be mobile, not as great as it can be like via PC wise, but mobile wise it can be done. It'll be a little bit dumbed down, but it can be done, and I support that wholeheartedly.
So
like
here's the other thing that came out too.
Everybody in here has a mobile phone,
but with the thing about with the mobile adaptation for mobile phones, then if they were to succeed with doing well on mobile, wouldn't that kind of diminish the purpose of buying high-end hardware with a console?
No. You know why?
Why would it not diminish?
Why? Because have you played Apex Legends?
Yes.
Have you played it on the Nintendo Switch?
Yes, and it's horrible.
And it's horrible.
It's horrible, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So like, would you want to play on PlayStation or would you want to play it on?
But the thing is, what I'm saying is like, what if, like, for your example, what if Apex on Switch was phenomenal and in line with the PS5, and I can save $200 by getting the Switch instead of.
Then wouldn't you as a gamer want to do that, and wouldn't you as a developer promote that? That way you don't have to worry about this third party or this other party. You're going straight from you to mobile.
So here's the thing.
There is that little midway.
They had a platform. They had a platform they could do this with. They killed it.
The
Vita.
What are you talking about?
Just do a Vita 2. If you want to go mobile and you want to do it right, just do a Vita 2.
See, I've been preaching this since the beginning. I think there's still room for the Vita. I think they should at least try it.
But it's the same way, because
maybe even incorporate it with their new VR that they're coming out.
All of us want to play Horizon on mobile. or Horizon. Right now, all of us have a PlayStation to do it, right?
Yeah, and you can play it on Fortnite now too.
Honestly, dude, I love the look of Fortnite characters. She looks awesome.
She looks awesome.
I love it, but
I'm just still against Fortnite.
I've tried. Yeah, I've tried Fortnite. It was fun. But I think
for a hot minute,
you know what kind of like drawn me to it, and I think this is what kind of draws everyone to it is the animation. I just loved the animation of all the characters that I was able to unlock and create. But like it lost its muster because it was really like I'm playing Apex Legends. It was more of a serious kind of shooter for me and team wise. It kind of lost its muster for me.
Hey, by the way, they yanked Second Chance out of War Games.
Oh, did they?
Which
really?
one was Second Chance again?
It glitched badly.
Oh, no way.
Second Chance was going to be where you basically had a chance to respawn with all your gear. Yeah, you were going to automatically drop in with all your gear, but there was some massive glitches. So,
not surprised.
So we'll see what happens on the mobile game front. I mean, Jason's got a point, yeah, but at the same time is you don't want to
homie Daro right now.
Okay, hold on. You are not Nintendo. You do not have franchises that could easily adapt to mobile.
Okay, but I mean, like Daro Gaming 15, he is on my side. He knows.
But I still feel like he didn't fully answer my question because you kind of made my point.
To League of Legends, though, it's not Uncharted. It is not God of War. It is not Ghost of Tsushima.
But it is a multi-billion-dollar game that's been out for just as long. And
but when
it was on PC for forever, feels like. Now they just brought it into mobile, and it's boom. It's yes, your battery does die. That's up to you. But if you are at the convenience of having a mobile game that you wouldn't be able to play otherwise, wouldn't you want to play it? Like if if we were all Xbox people somehow. Hold on.
Somehow. Well, choke it down. Choke it down. Horizon. Don't bring it up. Just choke it down.
Wrong with that.
I'm just kidding. But if we all wanted to play Horizon as an Xbox player, you wouldn't be able to unless you buy the whole thing. But here you have a phone. You'd be able to play that for like $20 or whatever, however much it is. See, it's a dumbed down version. It's going to be a dumbed down version. And that could even lead to like people crossing over, like, hey, you know what? I need to get this because this is a great game.
That's true, but
I could see it being like tidbits, like teasers, or like the gateway game in order to get into the franchise. Like that's gonna be really difficult.
Me and you, Theo, we know like you can never have a PC game be like the worst resolution. PC.
You had a chance to do it with this, but Jim Ryan said he hated the Vita because nobody wants to play on a portable. Here's the problem.
This I pay for about it automatically.
But hold on, let's talk about this because Jim Ryan, I think, is one of the big problems with Sony right now because he's said players don't care about backwards compatibility.
Wrong.
That's absolutely a whole lot of BS.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of BS. They don't care because he says, "Oh, we have the numbers that if we put backwards compatibility into it, they don't use it." Well, guess what? The last time you guys had backwards compatibility, it added $100 to $200 more onto the price of the PS3, so you could have the emotion chip to play 1 and 2.
Right, because they did it wrong. So everybody's just been keeping the old stuff in order to play the old stuff.
Yes,
there it is. Yeah.
Yes, granted, 4 and 5 can play, and guess what? Hey, Jim Ryan, unless you haven't been paying attention, there's a whole bunch of us that are playing PS4 games on our PS5s.
Yes, I wish I had more room on my hard drive so I could play the PS4 games that I want to.
We'll talk about that here in a second. But Jim Ryan has also said that he didn't think players cared enough about mobile to basically keep the Vita around. So here's the thing:
mobile and handheld I feel are different though.
Well, technically they are because mobile is just phone.
But this is Jim Ryan talking, and it's like. Honestly, there was a huge campaign about this last week when the story, this past week when the story broke, that everybody's wanting Sean Layden back.
Okay.
And I absolutely would love Sean Layden to come back. It'd be like as much as I love Doug Bowser running Nintendo, he's not Reggie. He is not Iwata-san. I would, screw, Iwata to come, if, rest in peace. I'm reading his book right now, which is fantastic so far. But like to have Iwata come back to head up Nintendo, I think would be amazing. But what I'm saying is like Jim Ryan is so hard driven numbers that one of the things when Sean left, one of the rumors going around is that there was a power struggle because Sean believes in the experience, right? There was a speech that he gave a couple years ago that they were talking about where Vib Ribbon, which is this old school game that was very minimalistic, and you know what, they did something new with how the game was designed, and he's like, it's all about the experience and it's about the games. Jim Ryan is all about, let's crank out as much money as we can. He wanted to go more into the multiplayer, the services route. Sean Layden wanted to still keep going with the story-based games that has made PlayStation so good.
And really what made PlayStation what it is, it was known for its, some of its racing games, I would say Gran Turismo, but really its single-player experiences and where the writing of great stories and great characters are what drove people to buy and continue buying those games. I agree. But I can also understand, like, if they crunch the numbers and they see that their handheld isn't really going, I feel that that the Vita was a missed opportunity, and I also feel like it was. I also feel like it kind of got the lifespan of the Dreamcast, where it was timed wrong when it came out.
I don't think it was timed wrong. It was. You went with your own memory card for one that was super expensive.
No. But that's why I'm saying, like, those memory cards now are a dime a dozen where people can upgrade easily.
No, the micro SD ones are cheap. No, the Vita and the PSP ones,
they're expensive.
Are those
proprietary
still,
memory was expensive as hell and still is.
It still is.
But I think with the times now, I guarantee they would have switched over to that.
Oh, if you had come out with a Vita 2 right now with a micro SD that like the Switch is built on, you would have way better.
I don't know what numbers he's going off of with being against mobile/handheld. Is like, if you just look at the Switch, everybody loves handheld with Switch, even with light and with the Switch Lite too. People bought the crap out of that, and that's purely handheld.
Yeah. That's why I honestly feel like I still think they have room to make another Vita, and if they did,
I think so.
It's up and down. I get it, but I would like to see a second Vita kind of come out and see what it would do and what they would do with their iteration right now.
Correct.
But like you said, they have no faith in it right now because of the direction that they're going.
You mentioned hard drive issues. So, no. So let's talk
finally about coming.
Let's talk about the new PlayStation update that just came out that I dropped yesterday. So first and foremost, you're going to have PS5 storage expansion and management. So now it's going to allow you to offload your PS5 games onto an external hard drive. Now you cannot play them off the external hard drive because it's not SSD compatible, but what it's going to allow you to do, instead of delete the games and have to reinstall them or re-download them later, all you have to do is move it back from your hard drive.
Oh, which I like
convenient.
That. Yeah,
that's convenient,
especially for a lot of those that have like ISPs that give them
Comcast.
Yes,
or
have that throttle cap at a certain thread cap. Yeah,
or at least getting that like multi-gig Call of Duty off the. Yeah. Like I would much rather put that in my external hard drive.
You're not already. Mine's running off the external hard drive for COD.
Yeah, because you have PS4 version.
Yeah.
There's no PS5 version of COD.
No, but
Cold War. But
yes, but something happened with something happened when I first originally it ended up doing what it did to you, so I had to download it on my actual hard drive.
Oh, I moved it. Yeah, I downloaded it and put it on the external. It's fine now. So I think
we
that's
still
a plus.
can't expand internally, huh?
Not yet. I mean, we'll see what happens with that.
What are we doing, Sony? We're getting close to that year mark.
Oh, I know. I want
and
that.
what's
hard
funny
drive.
is
flip a
out a
switch
year?
for me, please. Just switch a.
Well, no, it came out in November. I mean,
I was
so
about to say.
we're at the 6-month mark, but the thing is, those
No.
Xbox Series S and X launched with the SSD expansion cards, albeit they're expensive. They launched with them.
Yeah.
So Sony,
I still don't
what are
like
you doing?
I just still don't like proprietary things for expansion. I think that's
So now the other thing is they added in cross-generation share play. So now PS4 and PS5 players can actually do share play. So if you want somebody to try out a PS5 game, you can share it down to a PS4.
Okay.
Nice. And let them kind of play it and whatnot. They have now split game base. So now it's parties and friends. So before it was parties, and then you keep scrolling down to see your friends.
Yeah.
Now you can just toggle between the two.
Okay. Like a tab.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Game updates will now preload if the developers have enabled automatic updates for their games. So it'll preload the update. So it'll just start going when it's ready to go. Which I didn't know this, but that was something developers all this time have done, needed to do, was enable that for automatic updates to really work. So that's why some games just don't work and we don't get those updates like COD, right? Jerry, we've been kind of noticing we haven't been getting the updates lately.
Yeah.
For a lot of the components.
Not until you fire up, at least.
Correct. Now you're going to be able to, customize your game library like you could with PS4 and hide games. You're going to be able to change the magnification of your screen, which I think is a great thing from an accessibility standpoint.
Yep.
You have new trophy settings and stat screens. You're also going to be able to change the photo mode to where you'll only capture like platinums and golds instead of capturing all trophies or no trophies. So you're going to be able to customize, how that part is.
Yeah, I'll take off all the non-platinum and gold that I don't have.
Because it ends up taking up a lot of space after a while.
Does. I just turned mine completely off. And then they're going to upgrade the app with some new things, so you can do everything right through it. You can do your storage management now right through.
Sweet. I have to say the last few updates for the app have been really nice, because back in the day the app was just so janky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So overall, though, I like the updates that they're doing, especially from the storage management perspective.
Yeah,
it's going to be so much better
agree.
to offload things onto the external hard drive. So now I'm going to look at my external hard drive and go, okay, do I really, really need to keep these games that I don't care about? And I just put them on there so I can download some more PS5 stuff and then just move it over to the external hard drive. So it's just stored for when I get a chance to actually play it.
No, I want expandable internal storage, especially since the primary is proprietary and you can't remove it.
Right.
Stop with this proprietary stuff, please. I just want to switch out my hard drive.
Yep. Now, speaking of Xbox, like Jason did say, rumors are getting very hot and heavy that Xbox is cooking up something with Nintendo.
Beyond Game Pass?
And well, that's a lot of people are thinking it is going to be Game Pass coming to the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people are thinking, well, why would you want to do that? But you know what, though? Phil Spencer is all about breaking down those walls and having as many people play their games as possible. So
I have to say, their direction, Microsoft's direction has been really inspiring, actually. Like, they really are. And
they're having more focus on the gamers.
Yeah, and in the beginning, when we were first talking about Game Pass, we weren't so sure, and we were saying like they're putting all their cards in it. It looks like it's really, doing what it's going the direction they want, and they're making better moves. Like, I get it. I would, break down the walls. I like it,
and I would honestly. Go for it. I will sign up for Game Pass on my Switch in a heartbeat.
I think I would too.
Just like xCloud is supposed to launch sometime the end of this month, potentially beginning of May for iOS. I am going to try out xCloud. I'm going to go get an Xbox controller and try out xCloud on my iPad, because then I can play Halo and Forza and stuff like that. stuff that I can't play on my PlayStation.
Like I'm interested in Game Pass for PC, but like I just don't see myself paying that monthly payment for a subscription.
And for what you're getting on Game Pass for PC is not what you're getting as the same as on console, and that's what sucks. I just think, to your point though, Jerry, you look exactly what Phil Spencer's been doing and Sarah Bond for the last several years, just kind of revamping Microsoft, revamping Xbox, and bringing it kind of back, honestly, to where it was. Because honestly, you look back at even the OG original Xbox, when that broke on the scene, man, that was huge. You had Xbox Live, you had Halo. I mean, there was a lot of things that it gave you different experiences that PlayStation just doesn't have. And, you know, different stories that PlayStation doesn't have. Like you pointed out, Jerry, even though I'm not a fan of it, Gears of War, right? That is, you know, for those that have been around for the franchise since the beginning, it is a great franchise. It's not one I particularly like, but, you know, not every game's for everybody though, right? You liked Days Gone. I didn't like Days Gone. But that being said, look at what Phil has been doing. Phil is all about the consumer. Granted, he does have Microsoft backing him, so he's got an unlimited piggy bank to kind of play with. But that being said, it's like,
but it's the choices that he's making and the direction that he's wanting to go. It's about the gamers and it's about the experience.
I mean, look what they did. Bethesda. Look at all those games that went to Game Pass, right? You know, Outriders.
They could have made it like purely exclusive, but like they said, with Game Pass, if you want, like if you're not on Xbox, if you're on PC, you get to play them.
Not everything, but
not everything, but still, like they're trying to open more of the doors, and like you said, break that wall down.
The other thing is, it's like when they wanted cross-platform, right? Sony and Jim Ryan were like, "Nope, peace, go pound sand, go play, you know, your sandbox." Whereas Nintendo was like, "Let's talk Microsoft, right?" And in reciprocating things, right? Look at what came to the Switch. You had Cuphead, which was a Xbox exclusive for consoles,
and that got crazy numbers hitting when it hit the Switch,
and then it hit PlayStation later on. But after exclusivity, you know, deal expired. But then you have Ori, both Blind Forest and Will of the Wisp,
hit Switch,
are on Switch.
Also,
those are Microsoft Studio games, and those have done really well on the Switch. And honestly, Ori and the Blind Forest plays extremely well on the Switch. So
I still have to get that.
I just wish he would teach those people with Xbox Live Gold, MSRP needs to change, and they need to refigure the value of their games
honestly,
for Xbox Live Gold.
I think games with gold is going to end, and I think it's going to
probably it really should, because it's not equating to anything anyways.
Dude, so, you're right. Some of those prices, really. Really?
You're getting this $130 value of games that you've never heard of. Good
job. So now, speaking of Nintendo and Switch, we had the Indie Direct this week, the IndieWorld. So quick rundown on the games. Some of them looked really cool. So they came out with, like, talked about Road 96, which is from DigitArcs. It's a procedurally generated narrative game. So it's going to always change. And it was inspired by road trip movies of the 90s. So it looked cool. It looked pretty cool. Something that I'm gonna consider buying when it comes out, just because it's kind of one of those choose your own adventure types, but it's new every time.
Your choices actually do like determine your journey, which is
correct.
Like that was the trailer was really cool.
Yep. And then you had Aerial Knights Never Yield. It's set in a futuristic Detroit. It's a runner style game, kind of like it had a very kind of Mirror's Edge feel to it. I downloaded the demo last night and played a bit of it. It's fun. It's hard. You have to memorize, if you're going, jumping, you're going to flip over things, you're going to slide under things, stuff like that. It's got a really good soundtrack. A really good kind of like Detroit.
Is it like a quick paced kind of?
It's got some slower moments as you're kind of moving along. But it's something that I definitely recommend for those that are maybe considering it. Go try out the demo, which is live on the eShop right now. Then you have 2 games from Annapurna, one coming out in July, one coming out later this year in Last Stop and Hindsight. The trailers were kind of short, so it was kind of hard to kind of get a feel for what the games really are going to be. But it is Annapurna, and they've been putting out some great immersive titles that are just fun titles and just relaxing. You know, one that comes to mind is Donut Country, which was a lot of fun. You had Ollie Ollie World was announced, which is the skateboarding game. So you got a new one coming for that.
That one actually looked like kind of some fun.
Yep. You have The Longing, which launched yesterday during the after the Indie World, which is basically, it is from Studio Scythe. It is 400 days in real time where you're the last servant of a king and you're kind of basically waiting for him to wake up. So now you don't have to play every day or anything like that, but it literally is 400 days.
Oh, wow.
So
wait, how's that work? So like, what if you play a month and you stop for a year? Does your game end and you have to start over?
Nope.
Nope. Whatever happened during those time, that 352 days that you didn't play it.
Yep.
That's kind of interesting, because then like if you took a day off, what if the king like woke up and like that's kind of interesting.
So
Seems strange to me.
Then
that's a different direction for a game. Like, that's interesting. Yeah.
Then they had a trailer for a point and click game called There Is No Game. And it looked fun.
Oh,
it was
no.
like, it was like,
of name.
you
Yeah.
have to point and click. And the thing is, it's like, it's like, will you play the game, right?
Is this like a play on the Matrix? Like, there's no
spoon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And like, they even say, are you going to be the type that's going to just click everywhere on a screen, or are you actually going to click what you're supposed to?
Right.
So
like the Impossible Game, or like for all the millennials is like, you just lost the game.
I looked at it on the eShop and I'm tempted to buy it, but with everything coming up with the move next week, I am holding off on buying anything. My next purchase on a game is Mass Effect, and I am also
that's pretty much mine. Yeah,
I'm highly considering getting MLB 21.
I was considering Outriders because like I'm keep hearing back and forth reviews on like it's glitchy, and then it's not it's not single player friendly. You have to have a team.
Yep. So the highlight,
I'm sticking to Mass Effect.
The highlight was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge trailer.
Oh, I can't wait for I'm buying that. That's a straight up going to be buy.
Day one, because it is taking its inspirations from the original TMNT and Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
And it is in that old 90s style animations.
Dude, this is a newer trailer. This is the second trailer for it.
Yes.
Way more in depth. I got way more excited too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then you had Chris Dale's Dreams Uncorporated, which is inspired by some of the JRPGs of the era. You can shift time during battle, which was kind of cool. It was an interesting mechanic when they were showing it off in the trailer, because you could actually rewind time. So you could make enemies smaller, like they're kind of like baby variants, and make them easier to
That's cool. That's interesting.
So then they had Aztec Forgotten Gods, which looks like a very much like a Zelda inspired type game that takes place in a futuristic city that has its roots in Aztec society.
Oh, cool.
It deals with the Aztec gods. Then you had Skull, which is from Southpaw Games, which is an action platformer it looks similar to like Shovel Knight. It's the best way to do it. It has 90 different playable heads. So each head has its own ability. It's kind of like, think about Mega Man meets Shovel Knight. So Jason, this is like right up your alley.
Oh, cool.
It has the feel for it. Yeah.
And it is one of those ones where to get to different areas, you have to have the right head for it. Just like in Mega Man, to get to certain areas, you have to have the correct weapon for it. So that's interesting. And then they had like a quick barrage of games to end, like kind of like Microsoft does during the E3 presentations, and says, hey, here's all our games, and does a quick barrage. So They showed off like Art of Rally, which is basically looks like a kind of like a mobile game, rally game where you're just driving around. You had Kiwi, which you're a Kiwi and causing trouble.
Really?
Do you at least have like legs and arms as a Kiwi, or do you just roll around?
It is no, it actually looks like a real Kiwi. Like the bird, like you have legs, you have just a body.
I was thinking the
head.
fruit.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was like,
talking,
I'm with you, Thea. I was thinking the fruit, and I was like,
talking
oh,
the
it's
bird.
another one of these kid games. Like,
no, we're talking the bird. And then there was Labyrinth City, Weaving Tides. They showed off a quick clip of House of the Dead remake.
Oh yeah, that looked pretty good.
You had Elder Lilies, Beasts of Maravilla Island. Another one they showed off was Fez, which has been available on PlayStation for quite a while. I'm not sure if it was on Xbox, but I have it on my Vita. There's a Fez Vita edition. It's a fun game, and it is well suited for the Switch, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how that does. They announced that they're doing an indie game sale on the eShop, and then they showed off Oxenfree 2. To kind of end things off. And then it came out this week. It is highly rumored, and from the rumored sources, they've been extremely accurate on leaking Nintendo information, like on certain things that have like leaked out, ended up being true. But the rumor going around right now is that they're looking at doing remakes of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, which was on GameCube, which is, and Radiant Dawn, which is the Wii version, which both those games go for high dollar amounts if you are looking for them for physical. Right. I would absolutely love them to be remade. You could even just do HD, remasters of them and throw them on the Switch, and I'd buy them, because those are two of my absolute favorite in Fire Emblem series, as well as from a tactical RPG perspective. To me, those two games rival Shining Force 1 and 2. Throw that out there because
it's really high up there.
Jason, for me to say that, Jason knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And I know exactly how much those tactical, like, old school games were, Yep. It's one of those, if they do come out with it, yeah, it'll probably be just like re-releasing the game itself, and that'd be okay.
You want to remake it and make it more along the lines of,
no, you don't need to,
better dialogue or whatever, fine, but you could release them as is with an up-res, and as you can sell them for $60 a piece.
Maybe smooth it out just a little bit, and that's it. You're good. Don't need to add those little cutscenes and all that craziness.
It already had cutscenes.
Well, no, like how like they're like super like realistic and everything like that. Right. Secret of Mana had that. Secret of Mana had that. I personally did not like it at all.
I would absolutely love it. I mean, honestly, with what Nintendo's doing lately, anyways, it's starting to kind of really, really wake back up that old Nintendo lore
that retro
and love
feel
that I have. Yeah. They're doing the right things and stuff, that it's like, I look at, as much as I love PlayStation, I mean, we all know, I mean, I've got PlayStation statues, I've got their, PlayStation Experience 2016, banner on my wall. What Nintendo is doing, the games and everything are reawakening that love I had for Nintendo. I mean, Super Nintendo was my jam growing up. I spent so much time on it.
I mean, and everybody has that income now where we are the generation that had Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Yep. Like, it is awakening all of it. And of course, it's going to be nostalgic. Of course, I'd rather, now that I have a job to get it, I can pay that $25 to $25 to $40 to re-get whatever these old games were. And especially having digital, where it's like, okay, I don't even have to have the physical and buy an old Nintendo.
I mean, those games for GameCube and Wii respectively are going for like $100 plus. They're considered some of the rarest games for the consoles.
Yeah. This really is like the decade of retro, and I'm happy that like it's all coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, it'll be interesting to see what Nintendo's got cooking up with Microsoft. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Fire Emblem going forward. but it's a good time. I think this year is going to be a good year. Honestly, I think as much as I love the games that are coming this year with Returnal and Horizon, everything for PlayStation, you've got Halo Infinite coming for the Xbox. I honestly think this is going to end up being the year of Nintendo.
That's a bold statement because I mean, and the thing is with the moves that they're making, I'm inclined to agree, but I'm agreeing on the basis that if they are making this move, making all these moves while they're going to announce the second Switch to compete and to have the power and capacity to have the Game Pass and have those games kind of run on the Switch.
There, Jerry. That's exactly why I think this could be Nintendo's year, right? If you do have Game Pass come to Switch for one, which a lot of those games could run on this hardware. You know, I mean, a lot of it was,
but it would have a tough go. I think
some of it, yes, absolutely, because I've heard Bowser's Fury does frame drop sometimes because there's just so much on the screen. But I think if you announce the Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever they want to call it, you have Breath of the Wild 2
I can't wait.
launching with it. You have news on Metroid Prime. You have a Legend of Zelda collection come out. Yes, Skyward Sword's coming out, but we know they, if they really want to listen to the fans and do something similar to what kind of they did with Mario, you're going to have to do the same thing.
Yeah, agreed.
If you have all of that combined with what they're doing right now, and the fact is the Switch is just selling. It is selling.
It's still tough to find. The only now
it is outsold the PS4.
Yeah, like now, people are. I don't know about if it's getting crazy with you, Jason, but I'm getting more and more videos on TikTok and YouTube of like, hey, restocks at Costco, but they're bundles, but people still are looking for them.
Oh, I haven't seen it at all at Costco.
Oh.
Like it's.
Are you saying you have some in stock at Costco?
No, I'm saying that I just haven't seen it like be restocked. It's. I don't know, man. There's a lot bundled in this whole like everything that you're all talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nintendo is going to be surpassing a lot of things that we're expecting. I don't think that it's going to be the one that's the end all. I do believe that Microsoft is going to pull this year, if anything.
I think that's a matter of timing, really, because it's both Xbox
timing.
and Sony put out last year, and now they just fizzled out because
here's going to be the problem
in the basket.
And to that point, though, too, is there's also the superconductor shortage.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a
PS5
PlayStation
shortages. You're having Xbox Series shortages, and you have the Switch.
Yeah, you have the shortages all around, but until the bots decide when they want to stop,
never.
I know it will. At some point, they will. They have to at some point, but once the bots stop, that's going to decide who will be the winner overall. Because I still don't have a PS5 after 6 months, and I'm still not going to get one until I can easily get one versus a bot that's upcharging $300. You know, it's pointless for me. And the same way, Microsoft side, you know, you can get that layaway plan, you can get the cheaper one that's the same thing as the Xbox old generation, old for there's so many variables that we just don't know, that honestly it's at this point just based on everything that's happening so far, I think that Microsoft's going to take the lead in this year. Nintendo's going to be
if you're going to take Microsoft versus PlayStation, I think Xbox is.
Oh, definitely.
I hate to say this.
Definitely.
I think Xbox might just win this generation.
If Xbox,
I know we're a year in, but
yeah, if Xbox gets an ally in Nintendo, that's it. That's game over.
Done. It's over.
Game over. You know,
Well,
because
I feel like that's kind of because Sony really hasn't been trying to do anything.
No,
they're sticking with their reputation of just continued followers, whereas Nintendo and Xbox or Microsoft are putting in work really right now.
Yep.
Sony is just trying to stand on its two legs. That's it. They're trying to lift themselves up. They're not trying to.
The problem with that is that the problem with that is that I would understand if they had bigger party games for like multiplayer and like what Microsoft and Nintendo have. Sony's kind of sticking to their wheelhouse right now, which is still great, but they're single player like storied experiences. And what we've seen in history is that, you know, people love those games, but the mass majority love multiplayer. And and that's what Nintendo and Microsoft are kind of combining and also putting out mostly out of their games, which are the most popular. And Sony is kind of, like you said, is trying to stand on their own two legs, which was great for a time, like, but now they gotta, I don't know, I kind of feel like they have to make a couple moves if they want to stay at number one or number two.
Great,
you know,
it was great back in the day because we didn't have strong internet to do everything we can do now.
Yeah,
and I think
do you ever miss LAN parties? LAN parties,
yes,
dude.
Exactly.
LAN parties were the greatest.
Those were awesome.
Bring them back.
But I think also too is COVID has really reshaped the gaming space.
COVID has definitely taken it to a different level that we didn't expect, but it only enhanced what we already knew and just didn't want to say.
Yeah,
you know.
And true.
Honestly,
if for example, if I were to jump on a multiplayer game with you guys as well, that's 4 copies that they get rid of versus a single off title that maybe I like versus like Theo likes or Matt.
Yeah,
and I get that point. That's the point that Sony is. They're trying to snipe every consumer versus Microsoft and Nintendo that are just like, here's this game that's the flavor of the month. Here you go. Here it is for $20.
Yeah.
Here's 4 people. We got 80.
Yeah.
Boom. That's why if Microsoft does get an ally in Nintendo, that's it. It's game over, man. Doesn't matter what PlayStation does. They're climbing uphill now.
Especially when you have the power that Nintendo has with handheld.
Yeah.
Then Sony might have to go to mobile.
And they're alone in that market.
Which coming back full circle to earlier, Sony might have to go mobile, man. Ally might have to be on.
That's why I would say either mobile or think about bringing the Vita back.
Let me flex this arm.
Or bringing the Vita back and have it like more incorporated with other things.
Man.
No, but I'm saying what if they incorporated it with their new VR tech or like have it as a second screen system.
How much are you going to charge that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can't have old Vita prices.
Okay,
they just can't do it.
What is your ideal range?
The max you're looking 2 to 3.
I would say max 250 to 3.
You have to price it competitively with the Switch.
You have to, and then you have to get games that'll be competitive to the Switch.
Yeah.
How many multiplayer
games?
If you put on
here's the other thing.
Once again, what if they just decided to go digital with that and upload their old library?
Bring back PS1
do you
Classic.
Do you sacrifice the PlayStation graphics? What do you sacrifice? You know, you can't have a $300 product that gives you 17K HD resolution, ultra vibrant, lifelike VR or whatever for $300.
No, I think you
have to sacrifice something. You know you do.
But the thing is, though, is if you take out the touchpad, right? You take that rear touchpad out, you take out gyroscopic and all that jazz, right?
Oh yeah.
You can bring down the cost of the console. You go with
like I said, they would really have to
sacrifice. You can probably sacrifice in the length of games and size of games to where that you're not having games that play 80 to 120 hours on handheld.
Right.
But also allow PlayStation 1 classics. allow some of those other games to be played on the console too. And I think that would help it as well, because right now the Switch does not allow you to play backwards compatibility in terms of DS and all of that. Whereas you have the Vita and you have it backwards compatible with the original Vita in terms of the cards, and what you can do with the classics, you would have something very viable. But it'll be interesting to see what happens this year, though, where Sony goes, because if they're not careful, they may end up being in the same exact position they were with the beginning of PS3, which I was, talk with, my buddy, Matt Linkart that we had on the podcast and stuff. He's got a new podcast that him and one of our buddies and another one of theirs started, and they were kind of talking about it. It's like, you look at it, right? PS2 was dominating, and then they had PS3. Okay. But you also had the Xbox come out, and Xbox 360, took off, and PlayStation was kind of resting on their laurels. They were kind of going off of their brand recognition, and it hurt them because they weren't trying to keep up with competition. Yeah. Then the flip side is you look at Xbox One. Matrick and Harrison came out with these consoles that were like, oh, this is what we're going to do with it, blah, blah, but it wasn't really pushing the limits on anything. And Sony came out with something way better because they had to be pushed. Now you have this generation where Microsoft bombed last generation, so they had to do something differently. And you have Sony going off of the success of the PS4, which sold 100+ million units, going, well, we're PlayStation.
Right.
And which
goes back to that point that Sony's just continuously doing. Like, even if you go through those generations, at least Microsoft is trying something different each generation.
Mm-hmm. True.
Like with the Xbox One, they were trying, it's like, oh, well, we have this game system, let's make it an all entertainment system. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, that crapped out. So, and then we're just going to change it up again. It's like, at least
we're going to force you to have the Kinect.
they are trying to innovate while trying to keep up with Sony.
Yeah.
While Sony is just trying to trudge along.
Granted, that being said, the DualSense, I think, is an amazing controller.
True. Also, case in point to your point, Theo, Game Pass. Like, once again, they rolled the dice.
It is a new innovation. And and still, like, Sony tried PlayStation Now, which is roughly the same thing, but they just executed it wrong.
On many a scale. So, all right. So, Theo, what you been playing this week? Other than Apex Legends?
Really nothing else, because I haven't really had time.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Oh wait, that's right, because you're having to work.
And that's the exact reason why, like, I don't find myself buying like Game Pass, because I don't get the time to play to make it worth it.
Yeah.
It's more when that one-time purchase that I can play it for years is where it's at.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Let's see. I knocked out a couple chapters on Final Fantasy, Apex, of course.
Did you? You hear that?
Couple.
Yeah.
He's getting further. He's getting closer.
Yeah, I'm getting further.
What chapter are you on now?
15, 16. I gotta check, but I've just been like kind of going at it and trying to build my characters. So that and here and there, I'm really trying to focus on finishing Final Fantasy, but I have been. Whenever I get tired of that, I play Miles Morales for a little bit because it's so fun. Yeah, it's so fun.
Jason?
But yeah.
It depends on what I'm playing on.
StarCraft.
Yeah, no, PC, I've been on StarCraft, Diablo 3 lately.
Nice.
I haven't really been touching a lot of Division, not much Final Fantasy, even though
Good.
Final Fantasy
Newman says he disbelieves Jerry.
A new patch just dropped on Final Fantasy, so it's kind of weird. Spoiler, I'm already done with the 5.5.
Wow, that didn't take long.
One, it was very short, but two,
Shit. Newman says building my character is code for not playing but don't want to admit it.
Oh my god.
Rough. But then if I'm on PlayStation, I am playing Phoenix Wright, watching TVs. And if I'm on the mobile, I'm just playing
Yeah.
a plethora of games that I'm writing each and every week for y'all now.
Sweet.
You, Matt.
So Animal Crossing, of course.
Nice.
Did I miss the spring, the Blossoms event already? The spring.
Yes, you missed Cherry Blossoms already.
I did.
Can you make the Blossom Lanterns?
I haven't signed on since the last March event.
So look in your catalog, see if you can build Blossom Lanterns. If you can, I will send you Cherry Blossoms.
Okay.
But no, and then
time travel anyways.
Right. And then I've actually been playing Ori and the Blind Forest. Actually playing it pretty extensively now. I'm still in the hollows, but it's so good. Cool. I don't know why I didn't play it originally, sooner. Sackboy, I just finished the underwater world, so I can move on to the next one. So I've been playing
cool. Decent
amount of Sackboy. Lost Legacy, I'm into chapter 8 or 9 now on Lost Legacy.
Nice.
So it's so good. I loved it.
At the point now where we were just attempted to be killed, by the villain and whatnot, and Chloe just divulged that she had a relationship with the Drakes. So Nadine didn't really like that one too much. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. And then of course, I'm playing a little MTG Arena.
Look, you and I still need a rematch. We need some games out here.
Look at this.
Been a while since we played.
What the hell,
dude? Yes.
You son of a man.
I love it.
What's that?
Is that
magic?
Downloaded it.
For the love of God,
downloaded it today.
Please send me your username.
We'll do it after the cast. So, real quick for our listeners, and they're going to be listening to the podcast this weekend, and for the viewers at home. So, I want to give you guys a little bit of scheduling updates and stuff. So, our next episode is going to be recorded on Wednesday night, same time at 9:30. Reason we're doing Wednesday night is because Jerry is going to be flying into Virginia on Thursday because we are doing the road trip to Phoenix.
We're bringing you out, baby.
A week from Saturday. Right. So we got that taken care of. We got our lease signed today on the house.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, great on that. Took a huge stress off of mine. So the following week, the last week of the month, we are going to take off. So for the first time in our 2+ year history, we are taking a week off.
I mean,
Jason, you have taken time off.
I've taken time off. Like
Jerry's missed some episodes. Theo's missed some episodes. I have not missed.
I know, and that's why I don't know. I think
that's what he's hinting at is that we can still have the episode.
Well, Jerry's gonna be helping me unpack. We're gonna be moving me in and whatnot. So we may, if
welcome to Crashing Game Night. I can do it.
You can do it.
Right.
I think you got it.
All right, shots fired.
That was pretty awesome.
Now here's the thing: is if I get the internet and everything set up in time and we get unpacked enough, we may go ahead and record our normal time on Thursday, the last week of April. But I just want to give everybody a heads up: we may not record, just to give that 1 week to. Newman says he'll guest host. So,
nice.
Hold it down.
Bring it, Newman.
Me, Newman.
But
me, Newman, Theo.
So
3 amigos.
Also, we are gonna have a guest next week as well. So Matt and his podcast, cross-platform chat, is gonna be joining us, and I do plan to delve a little bit more into this, what we were talking about tonight, the whole PlayStation, Xbox, and stuff like that, because Devin, Pied Piper, we call him Sonic Boom in the room. Goes way back. That's an inside thing going way back.
We got to hear that story next week.
So yeah, because Devin, Matt, and I all go back to Plude's store. Like that's how we all know each other.
Oh, cool.
So we go way back. Oh, no, Newman. We are not making this a PC gamer only show. No.
It doesn't have to be a whole show. It's just an episode.
Just a segment.
It's a special.
We're gonna dive
maybe a special.
Dive some more into the conversation, PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like kind of like we were talking about tonight. So anyway, so I want to thank everybody as always for crashing game night with us. As always, wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you guys watching us on Twitch, joining us on the podcast platform of your choice. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, that follow button. Also, head on over to crashinggamenight.com because we are starting to get some more articles going. As soon as I get the move done, I've got a bunch of articles I'm prepping, as well as I got a couple of YouTube videos that I'm gonna be doing for us as well. Like I always say, be excellent to each other and stay frosty. But I also want to remind everybody, please be kind, rewind.
Just trying to steal things. You're just trying to steal things. Jeez. Next he's gonna go like Black Lives Still Matter and everything, and he's gonna take everything, and then he's gonna finish with my TTFN. Just steal it as a one-man show.
Just take it all.
No, I'm not all taken care of. So I just want to say, TTFN.
You son of a bitch.
I got Newman on my back. What's up, Newman? TTFN. We know what that stands for.
Well, like Matt said, once again, guys, the struggle's still real, especially, the last couple of weeks. We've had some incidents that have just been,
oh my goodness,
absolutely terrible. And once again, Black Lives Matter, support no Asian hate. It's getting really tough. And we really need to show support and be there for each other and start making changes, because it's getting really serious out there, guys. So please show compassion, continue spreading love, and lend a helping hand and show your support, because it's still out there. The struggle's still out there. Please just show some compassion and be kind.
Definitely. I mean, like to
safe.
To expand on that, more and more people are getting vaccinated, so it means more and more people are able to get out there. We are not going to be holed up as we were literally a year ago.
Yep.
To all you out there that are getting vaccinated, I applaud you. Thank you. I mean, like, I got my second one personally today. I wish I could flex it, but it's starting to get sore now. But
you also need that muscle, Jason. You need some muscle, Jason, first.
Oh, sir.
Wow.
Oh, don't want to blow up my my PC. But anyways,
wow, that's a statement. That's so hard
great.
You break the PC.
I love it.
Anyways, we always joke, but all the time, in all seriousness, yes, please get vaccinated. It is almost virtually open to the public now. Does not matter which one you get, just make sure you get it fully vaccinated. 2 times for Moderna and Pfizer, 1 time for the J&J, like Matt.
Johnson is on hold right now, though.
It is on hold, but if you are able to get vaccinated, please do so. We are absolutely. At that. We are opening things up again, and we are able to have a quote unquote normal life if we remember what it felt like a year ago. And
normal.
Yeah, to expand on Jerry's point, like now that we're getting out, we don't need to have this chaotic, like I've been stuck inside house arrest kind of mentality. We need to be more compassionate.
Do not need to return to mass shootings every week.
Yes, we need to be able to go outside and like look at each other and smile, and just have fun again. Because if one person gets knocked down, everyone notices it. Everyone's going to be just on top of it. So it's just please think before you do anything. At the same time, get vaccinated, be safe, social distance a little bit longer. We are almost at the end.
Almost there.
Literally there. We can actually have a good summer where everyone has their indoor summer, not tan bods. That's going to be awesome.
Get back out. Yeah.
Get back out there. We're going to We can have game nights again. Please, I need to go get some more board games because I have not done a board game in forever.
Jason just needs to move
At the very
to
least, give me a
Phoenix.
month leeway so I don't blind you all.
Yeah,
When the sun hits my skin.
Get that summer white bod, that white
So-
summer bod.
Like I will just be like a beacon for the International Space Station as soon as I step outside.
So, with that, Theo,
As always, guys,
Without-
thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you for taking the time to watch. We'll see you next time. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.